Hi, welcome to the Classic Car Cave. So I'm just going to put a little roundup. I've been basically kind of recovering this week. I know it sounds crazy, recovering. But after that 10-day, 2-week trip that we did, it really took it out of me. We ended up doing 5,300 kilometers or 3,300 miles in 8 days, even though the trip was 10 days because we had a day off going and a day off coming back to go to the 2 museums. I will now upload these ones, and I've got them set up on my GoPro 10 and I'll do one museum at a time. I'll do the one at Spire we went to first, and then the one at Sinsheim coming back. So I'll put them up on Sunday. This is Friday night. My wife's back up in Vienna because her business is very busy at the moment, and she will be back down after the weekend. Hopefully on Tuesday we'll get our new fibre optic internet, and instead of, for a 10-minute video at the moment, it takes me approximately 2 hours and 30 minutes, 2 hours and 40 minutes, yeah, for a 10-minute video. It'd be easy with semaphore, some geezer up on the hill with the flags. It's honestly, or somebody's not pedalling hard enough for the electricity. Anyway, so that hopefully will be sorted on Tuesday. It's all plumbed into the house, all the cables in. It's just a matter of getting the new boxes, those things that go on the desk, whatever they're called, the repeater things. Anyway, yeah, we'll get that sorted. So in the video you're going to see a little bit about the Jag. Now, when I took the Jag out the other day, when Martin was following me just to make sure it didn't break down, the pressure gauge, the pressure dropped completely from sort of 30, 40, which it should sit around 25 at least, to absolute zero. And I could tell it was the sender unit because the oil pressure's always been good in this car. So I took it off, and as you'll see in the video, I put an earth on it. What that shows is the gauge is perfect. It's the sender that's the problem. So I've given it a clean up now. I put it back on, and again you'll see it working. Now obviously there was a bad contact there, but maybe it's a bit choked up as well, the sender. So I think I'll probably get a new one, because I intend now to call SNG Barrett in Holland. It's easier to do it this side than get it from the UK, and I'll get a complete set of gear to service it, because the air filter is absolutely choked, it's black. I'll even change the plugs, the points, the whole lot. I'll give it a proper major service, even if it is still leaking oil, just to make sure. Because it probably hasn't had a service for a good 6 or 8 years. I don't know how long, to be honest. I'd have to ask Martin, but probably he wouldn't remember. I don't think he's used it for any great distance for the last sort of 8 years or so. So I would guess it's never had a service in the last 8 years, which is not good for the car. So I'll get that done, and it will show up some other little points. Now, as I said, the E-Type is sold. I sold this to Thomas, this chap from Denmark, and I believe he's going to pick it up sort of, I don't know if it's June, July sometime. I think his intention is to drive it back to Denmark. I think he's from Copenhagen, but he'll obviously bring a friend down with him with a station wagon, because all the books, all the magazines that I got from the start of joining the E-Type club, I'm going to give him, and all the manuals, because they're no good to me now. They're E-Type Jaguar stuff. And it's nice to have, because I've got all the 1,000 plus word articles I put in every month while I was building the car. So not only does he have it on YouTube, the full lot on YouTube, but he's also got it in the magazines as well. And of course there's a hardtop to go with the car, so he's going to need somebody to come and pick that stuff up for him. I think that's the thing at the moment. Now, I've always been straight with you on this. You know, if anything goes wrong, I'll show you what that is, because to me this is supposed to be a bit about learning. You know, I make mistakes like everybody else does. There's nobody infallible. So I just wanted to be honest with you about what I'd got for the car. So the deal was, I wanted 115,000, and I settled for 110. He offered me 110, and I thought, you know what, for 5 grand it isn't worth pissing around with, and I said, and I accepted. So I think he's got a very good deal. To buy a car, a Series 1, in this kind of condition for under £100,000, it would be pretty hard, I think. Even in today's market, it would be hard to find something as good as this for under 100,000 quid. And that works out, what, 93,500, something like that, just under 94,000. So, you know, I'm happy with that price for what I put into the car. Bearing in mind it was 12 years, what I put into the car, and it gives me some money back on my time I put into it, which normally you would not get. I think if you work on the premise that all the parts that you put into a restoration, if you get that back plus the price of the car, you're doing well. I think that's the way to look at it. And your labour has to be a labour of love and basically free for all intents and purposes. So to actually get the whole amount of money back for what I paid for the car and what I put into it, and get some money towards my labour, I think I'm doing quite well, and I was quite happy with that. And it goes to a new owner who's going to enjoy it and get the best out of it. It's a win-win for everybody. So I just wanted to let you know exactly what had been paid for the car. And the other issue was, I talked to my wife about this, is we didn't have people trooping through here, kicking the tyres, you know, people dreaming, oh, I'd like to have it, but can I pay you, you know, all that kind of shit. So I didn't want that, and to me it was the right way. The fact that it sold to the first guy that drove it and made me an offer tells me everything I need to know, and he knows what he's getting. I know what he's getting, and I think people who have watched it on a regular basis know how good this car is. So, as far as I'm concerned, as I said, it's a win-win for everybody. So, yeah, there are a couple of jobs I'm going to do on the E-Type for him, which I promised him I would do. The interior jobs I'm not going to do, which I've told him, because he intends to upgrade the interior in this car and make it all in leather, I believe. I think he's talking about going to John Skinner, because he was very, very impressed with the XK150, how much better it was than factory. And I'm sure if they hadn't built Jaguars down to a budget and up to a price, they would have looked like this, I'm sure. So he's going to do all that kind of stuff. What I am going to do on the car, he did notice the fan belt was a bit frayed. Fortunately, I have a new fan belt on the back, so I'll do that. I'll probably get him a spare, because it's something that you can easily put on. And there's this very slight oil weep, and where it's coming from is the banjo union, where it comes down onto the engine and the sump. There's two copper washers there that need to come out and be replaced. There's like a very small oil line goes to the back of the engine, oil capillary line basically it is, and that's where it's leaking from. I put an earth wire onto the oil sender, because what's happening is the oil pressure is down between sort of 10 and 0, which is not correct. And I know the oil pressure is extremely good in this. It's well up in the 40s, 40, between 40 and 45 when you start it. Now I'm going to put the ignition on, and what I've done is, because I've earthed it, it will go up, or it should, if the sender's knackered. So there's the lights, there you go. There's the sender going up. So the sender's had it. And I'll show you how that light, turn that up. I'll show you that looks under the bonnet. See, I put an earth, I just used a cable, and that's showing that is that sender unit down in there. I don't know if you can see it. No, as you can see, that oil, if I can go over, the oil pressure's working perfect now. All I did was clean up the electric where the spade goes on it. I give it a clean with a bit of emery cloth, and the contact's really good now. You can see how good that oil pressure is. Still ticking over a bit fast, but I just started it for the first time in 3 or 4 days. So there's a 70 odd quid saving just now. If it goes again, I'll get a new sender for it. As you can see, still a little bit of oil there. Well, that's quite a lot of oil, but there's a few puddles there. But compared to what it was first time it started leaking, after it hadn't been run for so long, it's not even a quarter. So I'll give it another long run over the weekend, and then once I get the gear from S&G Barrett in Holland, I'll give it a complete service. I don't think it's had a full service for, I don't know. So hopefully you can see down through there. You can see where that, if I can open it up, sorry, it's going to go, it should come back into focus. You can see there's a banjo union, that's where it's all lying on that plate between the engine and the gearbox there. So obviously that banjo union's failed and it needs to be redone. But you can see where it goes up the back of the engine there. You can see where it goes up and it ends up here at the top here, sorry, you can see it's there. It comes all the way down. That's a oil capillary line.